Having previously had about 1 gram of salvia a night for the past 5 days, and had good experiences each time, I thought I was now ready for a more powerful experience. I packed a large bowl full of salvia leaf, carefully crumbled, using the scientific Buckner funnel as a bong. It has very close tolerances, and the flow of smoke throughout is great. I turned the lights off so the room was completely dark, and used a laser pointer to navigate my way to the CD player. I put on the DJ Scott Project, How Deep Is Your Love? About 5 minutes long. I put it on a reasonable volume. Even without drugs, this was a worthwhile experience. Not having any sight makes the music seem amazing. Anyway, I held 2 lighters to the salvia until it glowed red hot. I then took a huge toke, and felt the burning smoke go into my lungs. I breathed a bit more air in, and held it for 30 seconds. Even after this the effects become more noticeable. The music gets louder, and my vision had the usual salvia blues around the edges. However, I still had my senses, and I took another great toke, holding the lighters to the salvia whilst breathing in. I held this in as long as I could, and let it out as I lay down. However, the weirdest thing then happened. Instead of feeling solid floor underneath my back, I sorta just swung around so I was sitting on the bottom of the floor. Imagine a pin going through your feet sideways, and pivoting on that, and that's how it was. I wasn't upside down though, I was the right way up. As if I had my own plane of gravity. I then proceeded to move on an airport-style lift, whilst in front of me there were many people, blue and red, sitting down. They formed a huge word, love. I remember marveling at the word, a feat of human engineering I thought. Meanwhile, in the song a loud voice was saying in a Barry White-style voice, "You know what I mean. It's all about love, as usual." A female force was directing the whole event, and her voice was occasionally heard. I have no recollection of how long this lasted, or if I had my eyes open or closed. Next thing I know my sense had sort of returned, and I remember trying to test if this dimension was real by grabbing one of the people as I traveled by the massive love. To my surprise, I felt something solid under my hands. I was very excited, as I couldn't wait to tell my friends that a salvia dimension physically existed. I was also a bit scared that I wouldn't be able to get back to the normal dimension. Next thing I know I've sat up, and am a few yards over the room to where I was, staring at my hands. I'm still holding the lighters very tightly, and I literally gasp out loud and start breathing really heavily as I realized what I've just done. The music sounded plain annoying, so I turned it off, and the bloke's voice was just scary. I couldn't believe that the salvia had engineered the trip from the start to involve me holding the lighters. I still can't really comprehend how it knew I'd be holding the lighters, or how it knew I'd grab hold of one of the people. It really overwhelms me how real it was. It was like I was in another dimension. Having only done fun drugs, hash resin, shrooms, I really can't compare it to any substances like 2CB or DMT. But for me this was the peak of my salvia experiences. Having done it several times more after this, it's never really compared. I learned from this trip that there is a greater meaning to everything, and love really is important, if not the most important thing in human lives. Sounds a bit hippie I know, but it seems so true now. I am totally overcome by the fact that the salvia or my brain could engineer such a detailed trip and predict and make the trip to what I had previously decided or was going to decide to do. I also am in awe of why everybody gets a woman's voice and presence. Surely this proves that other forces do exist.